Welcome everyone, my name is Brendan Snyder. Thank you for joining me. It's with a sad and heavy heart to announce the passing of Metal Church vocalist Mike Howe, who passed away on July 26 of 2021 at the young age of only 55. One of the most distinct thrash metal vocalists and early pioneers within the genre, Mike spent time in two professional bands throughout his career, beginning in 1986 with Heretic, who would go on to sign to Metal Blade Records and release their debut album Breakpoint in 1988. This album here was produced by Metal Church guitarist Kurt Vanderhoof, who of course would factor into this later. It was a stunning debut album showing much promise for the young band, so much so establishing also Mike Howe as a defining vocalist within the genre, ultimately leading to him getting the call to join the band when original Metal Church vocalist David Wayne would depart. Now, Metal Church released two career-defining albums prior to Mike coming in, but with Mike taking over the vocals spot, the band released one of their best albums of the era in 1989's Blessing in Disguise. It was released on major label Elektra Records, which was quite a feat for these bands at the time to move from independent labels onto the majors. And despite the album's mixed reviews at the time and its modernizing of its sound to a much more progressive metal style, it's a favorite amongst many fans, myself included. And the band would go on to release two more albums with Mike Howe on vocals, The Human Factor in 1991 and Hanging in the Balance in 1993. But due to the changing musical climate at the time in the beginning of the 1990s, each album itself would move further and further away from the original thrash roots of Metal Church itself, and with diminishing returns upon each release, ultimately leading to the breakup of the band, first time around at least, in 1996. Of course, over the years, Metal Church would reunite and break up several more times with different lead singers at the front of the band, but Mike Howe would make a triumphant return to the band nearly 20 years later in 2015. And then 23 years after their last studio album together, the band released its first new material, the album simply called 11, as it was their 11th album released, in 2016, making a stunning return to form album for the band. They followed this up in 2017 with the album Damned If You Do. This would be their final all-new album of original material together. However, in 2020, they did release the album From the Vaults, which featured a number of outtakes, B-sides, live recordings from previous recording sessions, making a really good standalone album in its own right. Unfortunately, though, on July 26th of 2021, Mike Howe passed away at the shockingly young age of only 55. Rest in peace, Mike. You will be missed, but not forgotten. My thoughts and prayers go out to his family at this time and certainly his bandmates and friends. Let's all remember the great thrash metal vocalist that Mike was and pay tribute and listen to some of the amazing music that he leaves behind for us all to continue to enjoy long after he is gone. Please leave your thoughts and comments in the section below, and certainly take care, have a good one, and bye everyone.